I feel like he'd just be in the corner like
jacking it.
yeah.
You hired somebody for a role in a wheelchair and they weren't in a wheelchair, that's racist! He was freaking out, so we can't, yeah. So, we're with all our crew, beaming down to meet the old Reaver. Worf's apprehensive about this all because he did a bunch of treaties with the Federation and the Klingons.
I was expecting that to be more touched base on, to be honest.
Yeah, he just kind of
throw away.
Yeah.
Reaver negotiated several treaties between the Klingons and the Federation.
Before him, there was no Klingon word for peacemaker.
Then I can understand why you're feeling uneasy.
Yeah, it never went anywhere. It had nothing to do with anything. Worf was just apprehensive. Even though he is the Klingon that's benefited the most from the Federation and the Klingons being in a treaty, but he still doesn't like the idea of it because he's a Klingon. And Klingons don't like treaties. Even though he grew up with humans.
Yeah, he's so Klingon, even though he grew up like humans raised him. Like, he shouldn't have so many. I guess he studied their culture and wants to adapt to being like that.
Yeah, I don't know if they've established that he grew up with humans at this point. Maybe. I know at season 1 they threw him in at the last moment. Gene Roddenberry was like, oh, fucking Jack a Klingon in there. That's why he does nothing in season 1 pretty much. Yeah. First half of season 1 he's standing around.
So it's got another 6 seasons to build the character.
He'll get some Worf episodes.
Yeah, where he gets knocked over by barrels and shit.
Continually hurt by being stronger than him.
The horribleness of him and Alexander's relationship.
And Alexander just disappears. Then the actor died.
Did he?
Yeah. I think he overdosed or something.
Oof. Jeez, couldn't deal with being Worf's son, eh?
It's like the kid that played Anakin. Just copped a bunch of shit and went crazy.
He became a badass.
Blame to George Lucas / Gene Roddenberry on it. Your fault, I'm a drug addict. Kids were mean to me because I was Anakin / Worf's son.
I mean, if anything, blame your parents for getting you involved in that shit.
Yeah.
Jake Lloyd, the actor who played Anakin in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, was arrested Wednesday after allegedly starting a high-speed car chase with South Carolina police. The 26-year-old was charged with resisting arrest and failing to stop for a police officer.
So yeah, they beam down and the situation is kind of like weird. I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah,
not tense, but like
it's ponderous.
There's an atmosphere there.
Yeah, then it rolls to the opening credits. Then yeah, Reaver comes out.
It was a really weird place for the opening credits, I thought.
Yeah, it wasn't quite like tense or suspenseful. It was something. They're walking around. It's curious, I guess. They're trying to build some kind of something, and then it's just like opening credits. Normally you'd reveal Reaver and the 3 entourage, and then roll credits.
And then the conversation would begin, but they already spoken for a bit and shit.
They were trying to do something. Build the atmosphere, but the atmosphere was like, ponderous, curious, not tense, not suspenseful, kind of heading that way. And then Reaver rocks out. He's
got his choir.
Yeah, through generations of inbreeding, he's become deaf. I don't know if they say inbreeding, but I assume it's inbreeding.
I don't understand. So what? He's deaf, but he can lip read.
Yeah.
But and they speak through. He speaks to them telepathically.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess he reads everyone's lips, so he knows what's going on because he's deaf, and then they read his mind and talk for him. Because otherwise, he'd just be deaf and you wouldn't know what's happening.
I mean, at first I thought maybe he could hear through their thoughts. Saying, but they did mention that he can read lips, so it could just be that.
Yeah, I guess he's reading everyone's lips and then they're thinking his thoughts and then saying them. Because he can't talk. I mean, he'd be able to talk, he'd just talk.
He would definitely lose a lot for his character when he started with that, eh?
Yeah. The actor was actually deaf too.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, did the whole, you hired somebody for a role in a wheelchair and they weren't in a wheelchair, that's racist! They actually hired a deaf person to play a deaf person. Because,
shit.
Actors can't play something that they're not. That's the idea of acting. You're yourself. You're nobody else.
Maybe for Jack Black, right?
Yeah, that's it. He's Jack Black in every role.
Our way of communicating has developed over the centuries, and it's one that I find quite harmonious.
Then Reva, the mediator,
Is deaf,
deaf.
born and hope to die.
And the three of you speak for him.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought the actor did a really good job. He was compelling considering it had 0 lines. He was engaging.
He conveyed a lot through his face.
Yeah.
Like, he was pulling the right emotions when they were speaking. If you were looking at him instead of looking at the one who was speaking.
Yeah.
He got really in their face, like, you will address me.
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah, he has 3 chorus members.
I meant no disrespect.
Picard was just like curious, and then he's like horribly offended.
You're used to talking to people who are talking to you,
Yeah.
right? But he's just like, you fucking...
Remarkable. And so the three of
Speak to
you...
me.
What?
Speak directly to me.
And are these people, are they solely for him to speak through, or are they people as well?
I think they just follow him around 24 hours of the day, getting paid a pittance, because he's like royalty, and yeah, that's their job. Maybe they get like a day off every month, maybe.
Yeah. It's a weird way for that intimate dinner, that guy was just sitting there like...
Yeah. So he eventually, like, just straight up is like in Detroit and just wants to fuck, and he's not shy.
He just
about
likes
it.
that she's empathic.
Yeah. And then, so yeah, he's having a romantic dinner with her, but one of them is there talking with him and says, yeah, it's really weird. So yeah, if they start fucking, is that guy just going to be sitting there like...
He sits there and makes the moaning sound.
Oh, yes. Touch me there, lady.
Has to tell her what he wants and shit.
Yeah. Just starts joining in. They're like, no.
I guess she just put a blindfold on.
Yeah.
Will he be with us?
Well, until we find our own method of communication.
I look forward to that time.
As do I.
I feel like he'd just be in the corner like...
Jacking it. No jacking it. You just say what I'm thinking. Yeah, there'd be lots of awkward moments in life where you'd be followed around by 3 strangers.
Yeah.
Going to the movies,
I
going
guess
out
if you
to
wanted
dinner.
to be into him, you need to get to know his choir too.
You need to be attracted to them.
You just fucking end up bloody getting more attracted to them and ditching him.
That'd be awful.
Yeah, right?
Then you try to go out with them and he's always there.
Yeah, just like,
Ditch Steffi. I gotta ditch him.
Ditch Debbie.
So yeah, there's 3 of them. The first one is the scholar, the artist, the intellect. The second one is the emotion, the passion, and the warfare. And there's just some lady who says like she binds them all together or something.
Yeah, she's everything else, really.
Yeah, there's like the emotion and the passion and all that, and the intellects and the smarts, and then she...
General conversation, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. She's just fucking getting paid for nothing.
Being paid for not bringing shit to the team.
Yeah. So he's a diplomat, and there's these warring races, or I guess they're the same race, warring cultures. They don't explain why he's a good diplomat, he just is an amazing
He's never had
diplomat.
a failed one. And...
Yeah. And it's the Enterprise's job for them to go down and
His
bring
protection
him.
and such, yeah.
And they're planning to go down, and he says, I don't want many guards, we'll send a bad signal if we start going down there with our faces
I
everywhere.
get.
Makes sense. But it turns out to be a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
They go down and these like monsters skulk out of the shadows who clearly aren't like intellects or diplomats or anything.
Clearly war-torn and angry.
Yeah. Go like track marks and booting up crack and all PTSD'd out.
Makes me really want to know what the fuck that guy was thinking by bringing that second guy who's clearly unstable with him. Like, I don't think he would have been the most upstanding citizen and all of a sudden switched.
Apparently he was the best choice for this diplomatic meeting of minds.
Yeah, that gives me a lot of hope for their species.
So yeah, he pulls out some fucking weapon and he shoots at Reva. Riker pulls Reva away and then shoots his chorus.
Yeah.
And really kills him.
Yeah, all 3 of them. That's an effective gun.
I guess
He shot them once.
they were touching.
Yeah.
So if you're in a crowd and everyone was touching, in like a mosh pit.
Just
10,000 people gone.
yeah, that's effective weaponry. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like a cool retro 80s skeleton effect. Where like the skin disappeared and the skeleton was there and it disappeared.
Yeah.
You don't see shit like that in movies anymore. It's just not the style anymore.
Yeah, I like it though.
Yeah,
It's a cool effect. Same like in Mars Attacks, except the skeleton didn't disappear.
Yeah, it warms my heart. It's like even older than like the 80s, I guess. It's like a 60s, 70s kind of retro thing that they were still using. And yeah, Reva is obviously very pissed. He's angry. He can't communicate with anybody. He's doing his angry thing.
Yeah, he's fucking flipping out, eh?
Yeah.
And Picard like grabs his face and is like, bro, we are all here. We all love you. It's like, okay, but I don't see how that could have been taken positively. Like, your body language was through the roof. And he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who enjoys being touched.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
Yeah.
But I guess he wasn't listening to reason. He was just fucking...
He was freaking out, so Picard, thought he had to grab a hold of him and wrestle him to the ground. Get him in a rear naked choke. Maybe not fuck him.
Just rape him. You can't hear me. Or even hear me coming.
Listen to me. You are not alone. Do you understand? We are all in this together.
Data eventually learns to use his signs.
That was a cool scene where he was doing things like faster, faster,
Yeah.
faster.
Increase? Increase? Increase?
We get some nice Geordie moments where we like discuss his disabilities and his personality and how they're all tied together and one and the same.
I think the way Old Mate spoke to him about it wasn't a disability, it was just a different way of everything really affected his decision.
Yeah.
Because the guy didn't speak down to him, you know? It was like, it's just another way of life sort of thing. You've adapted and it's like my chorus and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And you don't resent it?
The visor or being blind?
Either.
No, since they're both a part of me and I really like who I am, there's no reason for me to resent either one.
And yeah, LeVar Burton actually wanted to get rid of that visor. He fucking hated it. He didn't want to wear it on set. It impacted his acting, obviously, because his eyes were covered up. And if you see LeVar Burton without it, he has like massive eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's...
And they're like black, like pitch black eyes.
Yeah. It might be a thing because you never see his eyes, and then when you see them, like, holy shit, they're massive. Or maybe he just actually has really big eyes, and he is really expressive with his eyes in other roles I've seen. But once again, maybe that's because I'm so used to never seeing his eyes that all of a sudden I'm like,
he
his
pays
eyes.
so much attention to his eyes. There's not enough eye screen time.
So that's where they had this little scene here where Dr. Polanski was like, you know, we can whatever affect the nerve, give you good eyes, basically. They were thinking about it, but then the producers...
And it wasn't a guarantee either, like...
Yeah, and once you start on the process, you can't go back. Can't go back to the visor. But yeah, the behind-the-scenes goss where the producers were just like, nah, keep the visor, mate.
I know you fucking hate it, but deal with it.
That's it, you got me, you're the visor guy. We got the fucking monster guy.
You want the paycheck? That comes with the fucking visor.
So we had it for the next 6 seasons.
Which he fucking hated.
In the first movie. And then he got like contacts for First Contact.
It's possible to install optical devices which look like normal eyes and would still give you about the same visual range as the visor.
Yeah. Started rewatching Boardwalk Empire, it made me think of the Richard guy with the face thing and how that's a massive part of his character. And not only does it not impede his acting, but like it helps it somehow, covering half his face. But it is different than just your eyes covered, I guess.
Yeah, having both your eyes blocked.
Because he has one of everything. He has like an eye, half a nose, half a mouth, where Geordie's just like no eyes.
That could be fucked on a whole. Because like in the show he can see shit, but he can't see shit as an actor.
I wonder about fucking Pedro Pascal, the fucking Mandalorian helmet?
Yeah, that'd be fucked.
It all works though. Somehow your brain just
Half
like...
the time it's not him in the fucking suit anyway.
you wouldn't know, right?
Yeah, well you don't. There's 4 people who play him, I'm pretty sure.
Well, there's a bunch of stunt doubles that do stuff, but then it's like, how often is he like,
I mean, why would you wear it in the scenes which you're not, if you can just do the voice acting for it, right? Get some schmuck to do it.
I remember there was like some rumor before season 2 that Pedro was fired, blah, 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 he's not in the suit
like
anymore.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing came of that.
At
It was
all.
just like, he's still here.
Remember, we spoke about it in
this
very room.
So yeah, LeVar hated it, but it's part of his character. It would have been nice if they had he could have had a little arc where he moved away from it and he went through a process of getting new eyes but then struggling with his identity because he did kind of like being different, but he likes new eyes.
That's cool, but yeah, they weren't really at the point of doing those sorts of arcs at this point. That came later.
It was just because they didn't realise that people would watch them in order. They just... Well, back in the day with syndication, when it like aired for the 2nd and 3rd and 4th time, they would just play random episodes in a random row.
Yeah.
So you couldn't do a big character arc because you'd come in and be like, I don't know what's happening. And you start flipping tables. It's the adventure of the week. So yeah, Reva, he gets a bunch of emotional moments with Troy. She helps him out of his thing because he's like, I'm not going to help him.
She did a rather good job in this episode, like acting wise.
Yeah.
That skin tight suit's always nice too. There's some good shots of that.
Yeah. They gave her the right thing to do. Which
and
was
she didn't have a New Jerseyan accent yet, so I was really able to get invested.
Just like LeVar Burton with the eyes. She didn't want to do the weird voice anymore.
Yeah. But this was still back when she had the right voice and everything like that. And I was pretty happy with how she did. Considering in nearly every other episode she's in, she does fucking shit.
What do you sense? I sense danger.
They're upset about something. Yes, I can see that. Can you add anything more to the conversation?
They're waving faces around. They're aggravated slightly.
I think they might want to shoot. I mean...
Thanks, Troy. Yeah, it was a perfect thing for her character to do. Empathise with somebody. They have a problem. She fixes the problem or helps them get over that problem. Most episodes are like, there's a sci-fi problem and they solve it, but this was more of like a character study and examining Reva, who he was.
Which I think in my mind makes it a really good episode. Like, it wasn't just concentrating on sci-fi tropes. It was, they had to get into characters, they had to get into the story, they had to get into the acting to make this work.
Yeah.
And it did.
Yeah, now going into like disabilities and identity and who you are and who you are with your disabilities, without your disabilities.
Yeah, showing that you're not weaker because you have your disabilities, you're just different.
Yeah.
Why can't you turn your disadvantage into an advantage?
And then how does it end? He basically is like gets to a point where he goes down to the planet to these psycho monster creatures that murdered his best friends. And he's gonna teach them to sign?
Without anyone there to translate. How the fuck is that gonna work?
It'll take them like decades to learn how to sign. I assume
by the time of them working together to get the sign though, I guess it'll make sense. Or what I reckon actually happened is they lose their shit, they kill him and they continue their war until their species wipes out.
Immediately. He beams down and they immediately murder him. He's flapping his hands. They're like, what the fuck does that mean? What? Yeah, they didn't even bring anyone down to explain that he was going to teach them to learn sign language.
No, they didn't even wait that long.
Yeah.
Deanna, I don't understand what he's going to do. How can he mediate without his interpreters? He won't even be able to talk to them.
Reva is going to teach them sign language.
Yeah, his theory, I don't know, I guess.
If they weren't such an aggressive species, I think it could work.
But they were monsters.
They were like literally like within 5 seconds of meeting them. Maybe what actually happened is like they left and then he waited till they came and then he like slaughtered them because they killed his friends. I felt sorry for that first one though. I was like, no, he does not speak for us. I want this.
And he shoots his mate, doesn't he?
He killed him. Yeah. At that point, I probably would have stayed there and sussed the situation out. But I also understand why they got the fuck out of there.
People getting murdered and stuff.
But no one else had weapons drawn except for old mate. But he killed the guy who did it, which is a step forward.
Yeah.
This is how much this means to me.
Yeah. But yeah, either way, the treaty obviously didn't work. Reva was immediately killed. He's a terrible diplomat. We've shown nothing else that would give us any indication that he's a great diplomat. Roll credits. The point of the story is that you should accept and understand your shortcomings, and through that, learn how to be a better version of yourself.
I reckon they should have just had Data translate for it.
That would have made more sense.
He was there. He was ready to go.
At least have someone to explain what's going to happen.
Hell, I mean, you could have Troy try and somewhat.
He's going to try to teach you sign language. And then you need, like, cards and, like, visual aids
or
and
just Data
literature.
there to translate until they get the hang of it and then go. They could have had it resolved, but instead they decided to leave it at, like...
The galaxy's best diplomat dies.
Yeah.
Trying to teach. Yeah, could you imagine if, like, some guy walked up to you and started signing to you and he was trying to teach you sign language?
I mean, I guess they knew who he was, though.
Yeah, and they knew his chorus got
And you
killed.
don't know these people.
No, and then
you know them as aggressive savages. who killed your three best friends. I'm going to go down there, I'm going to be alone, and I can't communicate with them.
Picard and Riker are just like, well, there's 3 minutes till the episode ends, so this is fine.
They're just like, if we leave now, we can get to Riser before we have to head back.
It's like,
yeah, right.
It always gets to a point where they kind of sort of run out of episode, and then they just, oh, fucking, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, it's like, did you not, were you writing the script as you went? Or you're like, oh, we've used up too much runtime?
That's how you write a script, Mark. It takes 48 pages for an episode of Next Gen. You get to like 47, then you go, oh shit,
finish this.
We need to wrap this up quick. You don't go back and start again.
It's not even like a, hey, let's to be continued. This is, leave it up to the imagination.
He dies, whatever. There's one season of Doctor Who with Peter Capaldi. I forget what season it was. But yeah, every episode of that season, it was like, first act took up like 60%, and then the second act took up like, 40%, and then the third act was like 10% of the episode. It's like, oh fuck! The explosion, the aliens are dead, who cares? Roll credits.
So it's essentially they're building to the best part, and then they rush the best part.
Yeah.
That's just good writing.
Yeah. It's hard to write a 40-minute episode, I guess.
It would be, yeah. Especially when it's not like a series-based, like a season-based thing. Because at least a season-based, you're like, it's okay, we can cover that in the next
it doesn't matter if it ends. You just need to end on a little bit of a tension moment, but it can be in the middle of events happening. This is an own self-contained story.
You're not coming back to this.
This is why they stopped doing this. It's harder. It's easy to tell one big story than fucking...
It's more effective too.
Yeah.
Like,
you get more emotionally invested and stuff.
Even these days, if they do try the episodic at one episode basis thing, you still end up with a lot of two-parters.
Yeah, well, The Mandalorian kind of did the episodic thing for a while.
It still did, it was just, less.
Yeah, and it had an overarching thing. Yeah. So yeah, in conclusion, it was a good episode, exploring those old TNG themes of humanity.
The pacing was good. Like, I was invested the whole episode.
And guest
I
star
didn't
was
agree
great.
with a lot of it, I guess, but I understood it. I was like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. The guest star was good. Actual deaf actor did a great job of being engaging.
He did a really good job.
Yeah.
Troy did a good job.
Yeah, Troy got a moment. No one else really got a moment. Wesley didn't get a moment.
Geordie did.
Geordie got a moment. Geordie did get a moment.
Troy got a moment.
That goes nowhere. Geordie and Troy.
That's all she's ever had going for her, because her character's so shit. In my books, but this episode was nice.
They always fight her after season 1, I think, but they chose
You
to
can't
fight.
fire her for your fault of fucking writing
Not
that
writing it.
character.
They didn't know what to do with her.
You made a fucking an empathic who is only has the ability to sense people's emotions instead of their thoughts.
Which we can all see through body language and tone.
That's how it generally goes. It makes a lot of sense with alien species which are very different from
Yeah.
people, but they don't come across a lot of those.
Yeah, I mean, we as humans are experts at picking up how people are emotionally.
That's how we evolved, yeah.
If someone's throwing plates around and yelling,
Even with animals, a lot of times you can tell if they're aggressive. Like that possum.
Posture? Yeah, more possum.
Remember that one up near my parents' place which kind of came down the tree and was like standing its ground?
Yeah, like,
we were just like, fuck.
And Troy was like, it's angry. Like, no!
Thank you, Troy. What the fuck are you doing here?
Fuck off! Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and comments. Null and void.
think it's gonna be a long, long time. The touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. No. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man. Burning out his fuse out here alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time.